Hey guys, it's me, Andy Cops, the storyteller. Welcome to my outdoor set on this actually very pleasant winter's day. Here we are, 31st of December 2021, New Year's Eve. And I've got a wonderful story for you. An old man was walking along the beach. It was about an hour after sunrise. And in the distance he saw a little girl. She appeared to be throwing something into the sea, just as the waves whoosh, came washing up the beach. And he stopped and he stared and he thought, I know what she's throwing. She's throwing stones. And with that, he bent down and he picked up a stone off the beach, very similar to this one. And he threw it himself into the sea. But he watched the way his stone went into the water and the way the little girl's, well, that wasn't a stone she was throwing. No. What was that? I know what it is. It's shells, he said. And with that, he bent down and he picked up a shell and he threw it into the sea as well. And he watched his shell and he compared it to the little girl's. No, she wasn't throwing shells. Whatever she was throwing, it seemed to fly through the air and glide. What was it? And he continued to walk towards the young lady. Eventually he stopped and he was right near her. And he said, "Excuse me, young lady, what are you doing?" And she turned and she said, "I'm saving the starfish." Starfish? And with that he looked around and he blinked. Goodness me, I did not notice. There on the beach were thousands of starfish all over the beach. Goodness me, there are quite a lot of starfish. How are you going to save them all? What difference are you going to make, young lady? And with that, she bent down, she picked up a starfish, just as the waves washed onto the beach. Whoosh! And she threw the starfish, and it glided through the air. And it landed with a little soft plop, and it disappeared under the water. And she turned to the old man. She looked up at him, and she said, "Well, I made a difference to that one." The old man laughed. He took off his hat. He dropped his walking stick on the beach. He took off his jacket and he laughed and he said, "Let me help you. Let me help you." And so he started to help the little girl, picking up the starfish and throwing them into the sea, just as the waves were crashing onto the beach. Now, along the promenade, the pathway at the top of the beach, many people were out walking. And many stopped and watched the old man and the young lady throwing the starfish into the sea. And they shouted and they said, "Old man! Young lady! What are you doing?" And they turned and they both said, "We're saving the starfish. Come and help us." "Yes, come on down," shouted the old man. And so everyone started to go down to the beach. People of all ages. Even some dogs came down. I don't know if the dogs were allowed on the beach, but it didn't matter. The dogs were down on the beach as well. And people started to pick up the starfish and throwing them into the sea. It just so happened that a news crew were out. And it wasn't long before it was on the local news stations that there were all these starfish on the beach, and everyone was being urged to go down to the beach to help save the starfish. And it didn't take long. Soon there were so many people on the beach, each carefully taking the starfish and putting them back in the sea. And before the sun was high in the sky, there wasn't a single starfish left on the beach. And everyone went on their way. And soon it was just the old man and the young lady left on the beach. And the young lady turned to the old man and said, "Thank you. Thank you for your help. Now I must go home." And she turned and she quickly ran off back home. And the old man, well, he put back on his coat, his jacket, picked up his hat, picked up his walking stick, and he stood and he looked out at the sea. And he held up his stick and he shook it. And he said, "Starfish, you are very lucky. Just look at what one little girl was able to do." And that's the starfish story. Now, I'm sure you've heard the story before. You may have told the story yourself, and I've told it in my way. And I've told the story to so many classes in schools and to so many people, and it still is one of my all-time favorite stories. One person can make all the difference. I wish you a wonderful New Year's celebration and all the blessings that 2022 can bestow upon you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.